The city lights blur beneath my 32nd floor apartment window as I scan another row of financial projections. My fingers tap a steady rhythm against the sleek glass desk, the sound mixing with the distant hum of late night traffic and the soft ticking of grandmother's antique clock. The numbers swim before my eyes, but I can't stop not when there's still work to be done, still problems to solve, still family to support. A half-empty cup of black coffee sits cold beside my laptop, forgotten hours ago when I dove into these spreadsheets. The blue light of my screen casts shadows across the stark white walls of my home office, highlighting the careful order of my workspace. Files aligned with precision, sticky notes arranged by priority, family photo turned face down in the corner. My phone vibrates against the glass, the screen lighting up with Richard Dawson. My father. I pause, finger hovering over the answer button, that familiar knot of tension already forming in my stomach. It's nearly midnight, the never calls this late unless something's wrong. Hello? I keep my voice steady, professional, old habits. Anna. His voice cuts through the line, sharp as a blade. Do you have any idea what you've done? I straighten in my chair, spine rigid. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb with me. The words drip with venom. You're nothing but a failure. You'll never amount to anything. The words hit like a physical blow. My pulse pounds in my ears as I grip the edge of my desk, knuckles white. 7 years of supporting them, of careful financial maneuvering, of ensuring their mortgage payments cleared, while they remained blissfully ignorant of who really held their debt. 7 years of sacrifice, and this is what I get in return. Richard, please. My mother's voice floats in the background, weak and ineffectual as always. She's trying her best. A cruel laugh echoes behind her, Ethan. Of course my brother would be there, watching the show. He's never missed a chance to see me torn down. Her best? Richard scoffs. Her best isn't good enough. Never has been, never will be. My free hand moves to my laptop, fingers flying across the keyboard as I pull up a hidden folder. Inside lies the truth they don't know. Documents from A&D Holdings LLC, the company I created to purchase their mortgage. Every payment, every transaction, every piece of evidence showing how I've kept them afloat while they treated me like dirt. The memory surfaces unbidden. Late nights with Michael, my financial advisor, as we carefully constructed the arrangement. The paperwork filed in secret, the accounts established under the radar. All to protect them, to keep their home safe. What a fool I'd been. I've done everything for this family, I say, my voice barely above a whisper. Everything. Everything? Richard's tone turns mocking. You call hiding in your fancy apartment, playing with your spreadsheets, doing everything? Your brotherhood understands family. He's here with us. Where are you? Where am I? I'm exactly where I've always been, carrying their burden, shouldering their debt, swallowing their abuse. But something inside me shifts, a seismic change that starts as a tremor and builds to an earthquake. I look at the numbers on my screen. Their next mortgage payment, $7,500, is due in 5 days. A payment that goes straight to my company, though they don't know it. Not yet. You're right, I say, and for the first time, I let the ice creep into my voice. I'm not there, and maybe that's exactly the problem we need to solve. What's that supposed to mean? Richard demands, but I can hear at the first note of uncertainty. I close my laptop with a decisive click. I suppose you'll find out soon enough. The call ends, and I sit in the darkness of my apartment, the city lights casting long shadows across the floor. My heart pounds against my ribs, but my hands are steady now. The timer on their ignorance is running out, and I finally know what needs to be done. They want to call me a failure? Fine. Let's see how they feel when they learn who really holds the power in this family. I reach for my phone again, this time to call Michael. It's time to set things in motion. My gaze drifts to the family photo I turned face down hours ago. In it, we're all smiling, playing our parts perfectly. The loving father, the supportive mother, the golden son, and Metha daughter who would never be enough. Until now. Have you ever felt that moment when years of betrayal suddenly crystallize into perfect clarity? When you realize that the power to change everything has been in your hands all along? I have, and I'm done playing their game. The blue glow of my laptop screen cuts through the darkness as I navigate through encrypted folders labeled Family Mortgage and A&D Holdings LLC. Each click feels deliberate, weighted with 7 years of carefully documented betrayal. The financial records spread before me like a roadmap of manipulation, mine and theirs. A spreadsheet catches my eye, Monthly payments of $7,500. Property value $850,000. Current Dawson Family Bank balance $3,200. The numbers blur together until I blink hard, forcing them back into focus. My coffee has gone cold, but I barely notice as I drill deeper into the digital paper trail. There it is, the smoking gun. Every payment my parents thought they were making to Midwest Mortgage has been flowing directly into A&D Holdings LLC, my company. The evidence is irrefutable, each transaction a testament to their ignorance and my patience. My hands shake slightly as I cross-reference the dates, amounts, and account numbers. Everything lines up perfectly, just as Michael and I planned it. I pull up another folder, this one filled with personal notes documenting years of calculated support. The 15th of June, emergency roof repair, $12,000. The 3rd of September, property tax bailout, $8,500. The 25th of December, gift to cover Ethan's latest failed business venture, $15,000. Each entry stings like a fresh wound, especially now, with Richard's words still ringing in my ears. You're nothing but a failure. The evidence paints a clear picture of the two people who orchestrated my systematic degradation. Richard's signature appears on every document, his handwriting as sharp and cruel as his tongue. Next to many entries are notes about his reactions. Inadequate as usual, Anna, after a $20,000 contribution to their savings. If you were smarter with money, you'd give more, following a substantial property tax payment. Each comment drips with the same venom as tonight's phone call. And there's Ethan's handiwork 2 emails requesting funds, always ceasing Richard, always with that subtle tone of superiority. Since Anna's finally doing something useful with her money, or, well, big sister's good for something at least. His signature smirk practically radiates through the screen, the same one he wore at family dinners while I sat there, silently paying for his portion of the meal. The soft ping of an incoming text breaks my concentration. Uncle David's name appears on my phone screen, and my heart rate quickens. He's never messaged this late before. Anna, they're planning something. Richard called a family meeting last week you weren't invited. They're trying to squeeze more money out of you. Martha's crying about possible foreclosure, but Ethan's smirking like he knows something. Watch your back. My jaw clenches as I read the message twice. Of course they'd conspire behind my back. Why change the pattern now? I saved the text as a screenshot, adding it to my growing collection of evidence. A quick glance at my calendar highlights the approaching deadline in angry red. 5 days until the next $7,500 payment is due. 5 days until their carefully constructed world starts to crumble. I pull up Michael's contact and hit the video call button, not caring about the late hour. He answers on the second ring, his familiar face serious in the dim light of his home office. Talk to me about the purchase option clause. I say without preamble. Michael adjusts his glasses, shuffling through papers off screen. It's ironclad, Anna. If they miss the payment, A&D Holdings LLC has the right to assume full ownership. They signed everything themselves, albeit thinking it was standard bank paperwork. He pauses, studying my expression. Are you sure you want to do this? I lean back in my chair, feeling the weight of tomorrow pressing down on me. Show me the exact clause. He shares his screen, zooming in on the critical paragraph. The language is precise, clinical legal noose they tied around their own necks without even knowing it. My eyes lock onto the deadline. All rights transfer to A&D Holdings LLC if payment is not received within 72 hours of the due date. They don't have the money, I say. More to myself than Michael. Their account balance is barely enough to cover groceries. Anna. Michael's voice softens slightly. Once this starts, there's no going back. Are you prepared for the fallout? I turn to look out my window at the Chicago skyline, the city lights blurring into a constellation of artificial stars. 7 years of being the family ATM, of swallowing their criticism while signing their checks, of watching Ethan smirk as I covered his mistakes. 7 years of Martha's weak protests and Richard's cutting remarks. They made their choice. I say, my voice steady. Now it's time for mine. After ending the call with Michael, I return to the contract one last time. Something in the fine print catches my eye, a clause I hadn't noticed before, buried in the legal jargon. My eyes widen as I process its implications. This isn't just about taking control of the house anymore. This clause could expose every financial transaction they've ever made, every lie they've told to friends and relatives about their success. Every penny of my money they've claimed as their own business acumen. The first hints of dawn are creeping over the horizon as I finally close my laptop. In a few hours, Richard will wake up, secure in his sense of superiority. Martha will make his coffee just the way he likes it. Ethan will probably still be sleeping off whatever he did last night with my money. None of them have any idea what's coming. Their time is running out, and for once, I'm not backing down. I wonder how many others out there are looking at their own contracts right now, discovering the power they've held all along. The crystal chandeliers of the Grand Horizon Ballroom cast a harsh spotlight on my isolation. Around me, the annual Dawson family reunion buzzes with the artificial warmth of forced pleasantries and champagne. I adjust my navy blazer, a armor of Burberry wool, and try to focus on the gentle clink of crystal rather than the growing knot in my stomach. Everyone, if I could have your attention. Richard's voice carries across the room with the practiced authority of a man who's never been denied. The conversations fade to murmurs as he takes center stage, champagne flute raised. My father stands there in his custom Italian suit, every inch the successful patriarch he pretends to be. I have something important to address. His eyes find mine across the crowd, cold and calculating. It seems some members of our family have forgotten the meaning of loyalty, the value of honesty. The crystal stem of my glass turns slick in my grip. My own daughter, Anna, has been making decisions behind this family's back, manipulating our finances for her own gain. The words hit like physical blows. Aunt Catherine's sharp intake of breath. Marcus's disapproving frown. Cousin Rachel's poorly concealed smirk. The room spins slightly as decades of conditioning tell me to shrink, to apologize, to accept the shame he's laying at my feet. But something different rises in my chest instead, a clarity sharp as the crystal in my hand. I retreat to my apartment, 32 floors above Chicago's glittering skyline. The familiar space welcomes me with its clean lines and calculated order. My laptop hums to life as I sink into my ergonomic chair, the leather cool against my skin. The screen's blue light illuminates the careful arrangement of my workspace, color-coded files, prioritized sticky notes, the face-down family photo I can't quite bring myself to remove. 7 years of financial records spread across my monitor. Every mortgage payment, every transaction, every sacrifice I made while they lived in willful ignorance. The numbers don't lie, they never have. They tell a story of calculated manipulation, of a daughter used as an ATM while being told she'd never be enough. My phone buzzes. Michael's name lights up the screen. I saw Richard's social media post, he says without preamble. Anna, this is getting out of hand. It was always out of hand, I reply, my voice steadier than I feel. I just didn't want to see it. The mortgage payment is due in 3 days. What's your play? I open the secure folder containing all documents from A&D Holdings LLC. I'm done being their safety net. It's time they learn who really holds the power in this family. The Michelin-starred restaurant feels like a battleground disguised in white tablecloths and sterling silver. Richard chose it, his favorite place to perform, to keep up appearances. Mother sits beside him, hands clasped tightly in her lap. Ethan lounges in his chair, radiating smug superiority. The perfect family tableau. You've gone too far this time, Richard begins, his voice pitched low enough not to carry to neighboring tables. These stunts of yours, these childish attempts at rebellion. Stunts? My laptop opens with a decisive click. Let's talk about stunts, Father. Like the fact that every mortgage payment you've made for the past 7 years has gone directly to my company. A company you never bothered to investigate because you were too busy telling me I was worthless. The color drains from his face. Mother's water glass trembles. Ethan sits up straight for the first time all evening. That's impossible, Richard sputters. The payments go to A&D Holdings LLC. The words taste like victory on my tongue. Check your records. Every payment, every document, every transaction. I own it all. Back at the office the next morning, Samantha appears in my doorway, tablet in hand. You need to see this. She slides into the chair across from my desk, her usual professional demeanor tinged with urgency. Someone leaked the documents. All of them. They're everywhere. My screen fills with social media notifications, screenshots of financial records, email chains, bank statements, 7 years of careful documentation splashed across every platform. Number Dawson family secret is trending. I've already contacted HR and legal, Samantha continues. Your position here is secure. We're prepared to release a statement supporting you if needed. Michael calls next, his voice tight with controlled energy. The story's gone viral. 3 news outlets have reached out for comment. But Anna, that's not all. A pause. Your father's trying to claim the contract's invalid. Says he'll challenge it in court. Let him try. I pull up the purchase agreement, the familiar words sharp and clear. Get everyone together. Tonight, we're ending this. The conference room fills with quiet purpose as Michael arrives with our legal team. Papers spread across the polished table like battle plans. Every clause, every provision, every carefully crafted sentence designed for this moment. Here, Michael's finger stops on a paragraph buried in the fine print, the purchase option trigger. If they miss this payment, you don't just own the mortgage, you own everything. The city lights blur beyond the glass walls as we work through the night. Each document becomes a weapon, each signature a shield. The truth I've carried alone for so long transforms into something powerful, something unstoppable. Hours later, I stand at my apartment window, watching dawn break over Chicago. My phone lights up with messages of support from strangers who see themselves in my women trapped in their own family dynamics, seeking a way out. Their words echo my journey from victim to victor. 7 years of sacrifice led to this moment. 7 years of silence about to break. I pick up my phone, open my social media, and type. They say the truth sets you free, but sometimes you have to set yourself free first. What would you do if you discovered your greatest power lay in the very chains they used to bind you? The sun rises, painting the sky in shades of possibility. Behind me, my laptop screen glows with the final piece of evidence, the hidden clause that will shatter their illusions forever. The question isn't whether I'll use it. The question is, what will you do when it's your turn to break free? The payment deadline slides past like a whisper in the night. I watch the clock on my laptop tick from 11:59 p.m. to midnight, each digital shift bringing me closer to what I've planned for weeks. My fingers hover over the keyboard, steady despite the weight of what I'm about to do. The A&D Holdings LLC dashboard glows on my screen, a complex web of numbers and clauses that represents 7 years of calculated preparation. I click through to the contract section, the purchase option clause highlighted in stark yellow against the white background. One more click will set everything in motion. My phone buzzes a text from Richard. Anna, there seems to be an issue with the payment processing. Call me immediately. I leave it unanswered, focusing instead on the document before me. The clause is elegantly simple. Failure to make payment activates immediate transfer of ownership. My mouse cursor blinks over the execute button. Years of their contempt, their mockery, their casual cruelty, it all crystallizes into this moment. I press the button. The system processes for a moment, then confirms. Purchase option activated. Transfer of ownership complete. My phone erupts with notifications. Richard's number flashes across the screen repeatedly, interspersed with texts from Martha and Ethan. I silence it all, turning instead to my email where Michael has already confirmed receipt of the transfer documents. All legal parameters met, his message reads, proceeding with phase 2. Through my floor-to-ceiling windows, Chicago's lights blur into a canvas of possibility. Somewhere out there, in their comfortable suburban homey home, now my family is discovering just how precarious their position has become. A quiet ding announces another email. Samantha from HR. Internal memo distributed. Your position is secure. Let them try. I pull up the media package we've prepared. Years of financial records, text messages, emails a carefully curated testament to their manipulation. One click sends it to the journalists who've been waiting. By morning, the Dawson family's carefully constructed facade will shatter. My phone lights up again. This time it's Ethan. What the hell do you think you're doing? His voice cracks with the first hints of fear I've ever heard from him. Exactly what I planned. My voice emerges, cool, controlled. You should check your email. The journalists certainly will. You can't, he starts, but I cut him off. I already have. Tell Richard and Martha they have 48 hours to vacate my property. The silence on the other end stretches, breaks. Your property? A&D Holdings LLC. Did you never wonder what the A stood for? I let that sink in. Though I suppose you were too busy laughing at my failures to notice who really held the mortgage. His breathing turns ragged. We're your family. Number I stand, walking to the window. Below, the city pulses with late-night energy. Family doesn't do what you did. Family doesn't spend years tearing someone down while living off their success. I press my palm against the cool glass. Check your email, Ethan. See exactly what family has cost me. I end the call as the first news alert pops up on my screen. The story's breaking faster than expected. Social media notifications begin flooding in. People are already sharing, commenting, expressing their shock and support. A new email arrives, this one from an address I don't recognize. The subject line reads, Re. Dawson Family Property, Legal Contingency. My cursor hovers over it for a moment. Something about the timing, the phrasing, sends a slight chill down my spine. I open it, scan the contents, and feel my pulse quicken. It seems my family might have one last card to play. I reach for my phone to call Michael, but pause. First, I need to understand exactly what this mysterious message implies. 7 years of planning won't be undone by a last-minute legal trick. But as I read the email again, I can't shake the feeling that tomorrow's victory might not be as certain as I thought. The city lights seem to dim slightly, as if acknowledging the new tension in the air. I settle back into my chair, fingers moving to the keyboard. Whatever loophole they think they've found, whatever desperate play they're planning, I'll be ready. I always am. Standing at my window overlooking Chicago's glittering skyline, I take out my phone one last time. Opening my carefully curated social media account, I type, "Sometimes the biggest threats come in the smallest packages, like a single email that could change everything." What do you think this mysterious message could mean? Drop your theories below. Number revenge planned, number family secrets. The responses start flowing in immediately. They have no idea how right or wrong they might be. The downtown Chicago courthouse looms before me, its glass facade reflecting the morning sun. My heels click against marble as I stride through security, laptop bag slung over my shoulder. The weight of the evidence inside feels satisfying. 7 years of documentation, every transaction meticulously recorded, every conversation backed by timestamps and signatures. My phone buzzes. Michael's message flashes across the screen. "Peter Collins just entered the building with your father. Looks like they're heading to the 42nd floor conference room." A smirk tugs at my lips. Of course, Richard would hire Peter Collins, the same lawyer who handled his corporate mergers, the man who helped him crush smaller companies without remorse. But this time, he's not facing some helpless startup. He's facing me. The elevator ascends smoothly, numbers ticking upward. My reflection in the polished doors shows a woman I barely recognize as shoulders back, chin high, not a hint of the uncertainty that plagued me for so many years. The doors open to reveal a hushed corridor of mahogany and leather. Voices drift from the conference room ahead. Richards carries that familiar tone of barely contained rage. "The purchase option clause is invalid. Find something to nullify it." "Mr. Dawson," Peter's measured reply, "these documents appear properly executed. Your daughter's company." "I don't care what that ungrateful bitch did. Fix this." My blood runs cold, then hot. The old Anna would have flinched at those words. The new Anna? I push open the door. Richard's face contorts as I enter. "This is a private meeting. Nothing about this is private anymore." I set my laptop on the conference table, each movement precise. In fact, I think it's time we made everything very public. Peter Collins shifts uncomfortably in his chair. Smart man, he can sense which way the wind is blowing. My phone buzzes again. This time it's Samantha from HR. "Ethan's social media campaign is live. He's claiming you embezzled company funds." Perfect timing. I open my laptop, turning the screen toward them. "While you've been plotting this sad little legal maneuver, I've been gathering quite a collection." My fingers dance across the keyboard, pulling up document after document. 7 years of financial records. Every mortgage payment, every email, every conversation where you threatened me while I kept this family afloat. Richard's face reddens. "You manipulated." "Let me finish." My voice cuts through his like steel through butter. "Right now, Ethan is spreading lies about me online. Martha is probably calling every family friend with her sob story. And you're here, trying to invalidate a perfectly legal contract because you can't stand that I finally took control." The courtroom falls silent as I project the first piece of evidence onto the wall screen. Bank statements scroll past, each one a nail in their coffin. 7 years of transactions perfectly documented. Then come the email, hundreds of them, each more damning than the last. Martha begging for money while calling me selfish. Ethan sneering messages about my pathetic career, even as he lived off my success. Richard's threats, all meticulously preserved. As you can see, Your Honor, my voice carries through the hushed room. Every transaction was legal, every document properly executed. What we have here is a systematic pattern of emotional and financial abuse. perpetrated by a family that viewed me as nothing more than their personal ATM. The judge leans forward, glasses glinting. These records appear quite thorough, Miss Dawson. Richard lurches to his feet, but Peter Collins puts a restraining hand on his arm. Too late, the media cameras are already rolling, capturing every second of his impotent rage. The story is spreading across social media like wildfire. Toxic legacy unraveled. Anna Dawson exposes years of family financial abuse. I step to the podium, unfurling the final document, the legal verdict that will end their reign once and for all. The paper feels light in my hands, but its weight and meaning is immense. By order of this court, my voice rings clear and strong. All claims against A and D Holdings, LLC, are hereby dismissed. The property transfer shall proceed as contractually specified. The gavel falls with a resounding crack. In the gallery, I catch glimpses of familiar faces, other survivors of family abuse, women who've reached out to share their own stories. Their presence feels like validation, like vindication. Richard storms from the courtroom, Martha trailing in his wake. Ethan lingers just long enough to shoot me a look of pure venom before slinking away. Let them run. Their social standing is already crumbling, their carefully cultivated image of family perfection shattered beyond repair. Later, in my high-rise office, I watch the sun set over Chicago. My phone has been buzzing nonstop, journalists seeking comments, supporters sharing their own stories of breaking free, even a few guilty messages from extended family members claiming they never knew. I turn away from the window, settling into my chair. The family photo I kept face down for so long catches my eye. Should I reach out? Try to salvage something from the wreckage? The question hangs in the air, unanswered. My cursor blinks on the social media draft before me. Have you ever seen a power shift dramatic? How far would you go to reclaim your freedom? I hit post, knowing the responses will flood in stories of triumph, of breaking free, of reclaiming power from those who abused it. The city lights begin to twinkle below, each one a star in my new constellation of possibility. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, new battles perhaps, but tonight I am finally completely free. The early morning sun streams through the floor-to-ceiling windows of my new downtown office, casting long shadows across polished hardwood floors. A stack of mortgage documents sits on my desk, not my family's anymore, but those of women who found their way to my door, seeking the same freedom I fought to claim. I pause at the window, watching the city wake beneath me. 7 floors up, Chicago stretches out like a promise, all gleaming steel and possibility. It's different from my old 32nd floor view, but better. Closer to the ground. More real. The familiar weight of my grandmother's antique watch presses against my wrist as I check the time. My first mentoring session starts in an hour, a young woman trapped in financial abuse by her stepfather. My throat tightens. I know that story too well. A text from Michael lights up my phone. Ready for the Women's Financial Empowerment Workshop tonight? I smile, remembering the last session. 20 women, each carrying their own version of the chains I once wore, learning to break free. My reply is quick, always ready. The elevator dings and Samantha steps into my office, carrying 2 cups of coffee. Her presence still surprises me, sometimes show easily friendship can bloom once you stop expecting betrayal around every corner. Thought you could use this, she says, setting 1 cup on my desk. Big day ahead. I nod, taking in the aroma of fresh coffee. So different from those cold, forgotten cups in my old home office, back when work was an escape rather than a mission. Have you seen the latest? She pulls up a social media post on her phone. It's from one of our workshop graduates, a photo of her holding up house keys, caption reading, "First home in my name. Thank you, Anna Dawson, for showing me the way." The image blurs slightly as unexpected tears prick my eyes. I blink them back, professional mask firmly in place. That's what it's all about. Later that evening, I stand in front of the old Dawson family home. The facade is the same red brick, white trim, manicured lawn, but it feels smaller now, less imposing. The shadows that once seemed to reach for me with grasping fingers are just shadows. I trace my fingers along the iron gate, remembering that last phone call from Richard. You'll never amount to anything. His words echo differently now, hollow and meaningless against the reality of what I've built. Through the window, I catch a glimpse of the study where it all began. The same room where I sat, night after night, orchestrating their financial stability while they plotted my downfall. Now it's just a room, stripped of its power to hurt me. The sun begins to set as I make my way toward the restaurant where Michael, Samantha, and Uncle David are waiting. Our weekly dinner tradition born from the ashes of toxic family ties. Real family, chosen family. A young woman hurries past me on the sidewalk, phone pressed to her ear, voice trembling. I'm sorry, Dad. I'll try harder, I promise. I stop, recognition hitting me like a physical blow. The hunched shoulders, the desperate need to please I know that dance too well. Excuse me, I call out softly. She turns, startled. I couldn't help overhearing. If you need someone to talk to. I hand her my business card, watching understanding dawn in her eyes. Are you really? She glances at the card, then back at me. Yes, I say simply. And I can help. The city lights begin to twinkle as I finally reach the restaurant. Through the window, I see my chosen family at our usual table, Michael, reviewing documents, even at dinner, Samantha laughing at something Uncle David has said. The sight fills me with a warmth that has nothing to do with obligation or blood. I pause for a moment, taking in the view. The Chicago skyline spreads before me, a glittering canvas of possibility. Somewhere in that urban maze, another woman is gathering the courage to break free, and I'll be ready to help her write her own story of liberation. This is what victory really looks like, not the destruction of those who hurt you, but the creation of something stronger from the wreckage they left behind. The next morning, I stand at my office window as dawn breaks over Lake Michigan. The sun crests the horizon in a burst of gold and pink, painting the sky in colors of rebirth. Light catches the windows of 1,000 buildings, each reflection a reminder of the countless stories of transformation waiting to be written. Have you ever wondered what freedom tastes like? It tastes like this: the first light of dawn, the sound of genuine laughter, and the knowledge that your scars have become a map leading others home.